Okay, so your arms are all nice and warmed up.
Yep.
Okay, now, do you know the reason why we were throwing a baseball around when we're going to be here practicing archery?
Is it because you want to get my mind thinking for itself instead of me having to think about it?
Kind of a little bit like that. I guess number one, I wanted you to get warmed up. I wanted your shoulder to get warmed up. Number two, shooting archery is a lot like shooting or throwing a ball. When I'm throwing a ball to someone, I'm not looking at the ball and I'm not looking at my fingers or my hand.
Right.
I'm looking at your glove.
Right.
When you're shooting a bow instinctively, and that's what we're doing, instinctive shooting, we're not shooting with sights. Okay? You're looking at the target. So if I'm looking at that target, I want to bore a hole in that target with my eyes, and that's all I focus on. The rest of it is your form, which comes naturally. Okay? So I think what I want to do is I want to start getting you to throw the ball at that moving jug there.
Okay.
Okay? Okay, see if you can hit that. Good. Take some more shots. It's exactly the same principle as what you're going to be doing when you're shooting archery and you're trying to hit something in the air. Okay. Now, when you aim at it, don't look at the whole thing. Pick a spot, the smallest spot you can, and then shoot that. Okay?
Okay.
Aim small and miss small. Remember to follow through.
Okay.
Okay, well this is the new bow that we just got you. That's a recurve bow. And this is the bow that you've been using,
Right.
which is a compound bow. And you see the difference between the two of them. What's
Yeah.
the major difference you see?
This has the wheels on it,
Mm-hmm.
the sights.
Mm-hmm.
This has multiple strings attached to the wheels.
What about the size?
Oh yeah, the size is also a big difference.
Okay. One of the things about the size, about shooting a longer bow like this, is that when we draw back, we're not getting as much pinch on our fingers. So we get a smoother release. When we pull back and release here, we're getting a smoother release. On this bow here, it's got such tight angles. See, it makes it for a tougher release. When you, that's why you shot a release with that, a mechanical release. Okay?
Right.
But what we're doing in shooting instinctively, we're getting rid of all of the devices that have been made to make up for our lack of being able to do things right.
Right.
Okay? So we're going to rely on our brain.
Okay.
Okay? So the number one thing we do is we don't shoot this upright, we cant it. Okay?
Okay.
We pull back, smooth release. Okay? It's just like we did earlier in another practice. Okay, well, I wanted to talk to you again about form, what we talked about the other day. Remember how shooting a regular bow, you're upright. Okay?
Right.
You've been doing a really good job of attacking the target. You have to cant the bow like this, okay? So now your posture's forward, your more aggressive stance, right? You're doing a really good job at that.
Like in hockey, the hockey
Yeah.
stance.
But what I would like you to do is I want you to really keep this bow arm here on the target after you shoot, okay? And watch this release hand. Watch my fingers. When I pull back, I release, and I'm here. And I hold it. Okay, that's a follow-through. Okay, let's see what I mean. Okay?
Right.
Okay, pass me one more out. Okay? That's the follow-through. And that's what I want you to work on. Bring your release hand straight back to your ear. Okay? Don't pluck the string. Straight back, not plucking.
Okay.
That's better. It's a smoother release. Oop, wrong arrow.
Thank you.
Nice. Can I take the bow?
Yeah,
And
sure.
I just want to go over that form for take the arrows, please.
Sure.
Okay. One of the things I want is I want this arm to stay here the whole time. You're doing a really good job of that. But this hand here, you tend to pluck sometimes.
Okay.
And I want you to pull it back. As soon as you hit your anchor point, release, and bring your hand back here like this to your ear. That way you're not opening, you're just releasing your fingers. Okay?
Okay.
See my hand?
Yeah.
I haven't moved. That's follow through.
Ended up.
Yeah, that's for follow through. Okay, and that's what I want you to work on.
Okay.
Okay? That's what we want to focus on right now is your release.
Okay.
Good, that's better. What are you looking at when you're shooting?
I'm looking at the center of the black target.
The smallest part, right? Yeah. Okay, now I want you to try to hit this as I throw it.
Okay.
What are you going to focus on?
The black dot or the hole in the black
Okay,
dot.
that's even better. Remember when you were throwing the baseball?
Yeah.
And you're trying to hit the target?
Right.
What were you doing with your hand as you were throwing?
Following through.
Following through. So the ball went where the target was, right?
Right.
Same thing. This bow arm now has to follow the target.
Okay.
Okay? So when you're shooting, you've got to move with the target and don't stop.
Okay.
Okay? I'm going to toss it up. Okay? Good shot.
It feels a lot more natural when I do it without, it just happens when
Good. That's what it's supposed to. We're supposed to take all the mechanical bit out of it and just let it happen. Okay, go. Good shot. You think you've been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
Nice shot.
Thanks.
Look.
It felt a bit more fluid.
You were close to the black dot.
Right. Aim
Okay.
small, miss small.
Good shot.
I almost hit the black dot.
I was just going to say that.
Okay.
You hit it.
Just didn't go in.
Nice shot. Nice shot. You would never know he's done this, eh? That's not bad, you know. You did really well. That was good. How did you enjoy that?
It was pretty fun.
What did you find different about it than the way you normally would shoot?
I found it a lot faster. That you didn't hold it there, and release.
Mm-hmm.
It happened fast. You let your brain do the work.
That's right. Yeah, that's the big thing is you want it to be fluid. It's just a quick boom release.
Okay.
And you did that really well. You started to follow through really well, and you actually hit the target several times, of which you've only done this one other time before. So that's pretty impressive. How did this compare with throwing a ball again? Do you remember?
Yeah, it compares because you wouldn't look at the arrow, you wouldn't look at the bow, you'd look at the target.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same with baseball. When you're throwing, you wouldn't look at your hand, you'd look at the target.
Yeah. So what's doing the work?
Your brain.
Your brain. So one of the biggest factors that we have to get used to when we're shooting instinctively in archery is to not worry about the other things, okay? You just want to shoot. You want to concentrate on that point. Okay?
Right.
You get concentrating on the point and following through. Those are the two biggest aspects in shooting archery instinctive and trying to shoot something out of the air. But you see, it's possible though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's actually a lot easier than it looks.
That's right. And what this is going to do, I hope, is this will help your shooting stationary targets. Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to train your brain to think on its own. Okay? I'm trying to teach you to shoot without thinking about the shot.
Right.
Okay? Even though we were talking about follow through and things like that, I'm going to hound you about that sort of thing in the future.
But
I don't really want you to have to think about those
I'll
things.
have
I want it to get autonomic.
So naturally, come naturally.
That's right. And your form is doing it. But doing this, shooting this out of the air and shooting at a moving target is going to help you shoot a stationary target because you'll be able to focus on it more without worrying about what you're doing.
Right.
Okay? That's a good job.
That was.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Hey, Will, I thought it would be a great idea since we shot this video for you to actually see it so you could visualize better exactly what you're doing well and maybe a couple of things that you need to work on. I thought here we'd focus on your release. And I found this segment in here where you're releasing really, really well. And I wanted you to see that so that next time you're shooting you can really
Concentrate on, or not concentrate, but try to improve it.
Yeah. Well, and picture this in your mind, okay? This is, watch it, you're doing this really well here.
What are you looking at?
The release came back to my ear.
See? I'll pause it. Look at that.
Back to my ear and my bow hand.
Look. See where you are?
Yeah.
You have a straight line from here to here, and you've got a perfect release here. Okay?
Right.
Good. In this segment here, this is the part where you're actually shooting the moving cardboard. And I want you to watch your bow hand, how it's following down. You hit 4 to 5 of these pieces that are thrown in this segment.
Which is really good.
Yeah, but watch your bow arm, how it follows the target right to the ground even after you hit it. It's just such good form.
Good shot.
See that? Your bow arm follows the target the entire way.
Yeah. And if you watch it...
And that's perfect follow through. It's really well done.
I just saw in the other one, I can line it up and you see it go down at the same time.
Yeah. Now, look, you're still in a straight line.
Right. It's making
your bow
sure.
is following it the entire way.
Right.
And you're doing that very, very well. And that's what you need to keep focusing on. So out of this practice today, there was 3 things that we focused on. Number 1 was in your release.
Yeah.
Number 2 was on your follow through and your bow arm. And number 3 is to allow those first 2 to happen and just follow the target with your eye.
With fluent motion.
That's right, with fluent motion. That's why we went to shooting a moving target. Because a moving target, you don't have time to think about your form, you don't have time to think about things. So you practice your form, you get it right, and then you allow yourself to take the shot on that moving target.
So it'll be easier for when you're hitting a still target.
That's correct. Good.